problem that most people face is going to be the following. You work, you get paid, you spend, you repeat. It's a vicious cycle. It's why we have a retirement issue going on. Not enough people are really saving and getting that money to really work for them. Entertainment, vacation, cars, things that depreciate. Nothing wrong with enjoying life, but if you're not having your money work for you, you're constantly working for your money. Alright, hey, welcome back to the channel, Dad Financially Follow. In this installment, we're going to talk a little bit about my overall investment strategy, what I'm kind of tinkering around with, and a more tapered down, calm version of it. How we can take our regular income and make that income make more income into an asset snowball strategy. I'm trying to take dollars that hire workers that never sleep. Basically, I am trying to get passive income. That income where I don't have to do anything for it and it just, starts working for me. So not employees, not side hustles, assets. So what I'm going to talk about today is a powerful wealth building concept in finance. Is using our income to buy income producing assets. Then using that cash flow from said assets to buy even more assets, and then later on for more experienced investors, potentially using margin to accelerate the process. Now, most people, they don't really do this. They go into more growth stock because there's somewhat of a tax drag, or they're just spending their money. They're not really investing their money. So investors deploy their income, whether or not they're buying business interest or going into the stock market, but they're investing. But let's dive in. The problem that most people face is going to be the following. You work, you get paid, you spend, you repeat. It's a vicious cycle. It's why we have a retirement issue going on. Not enough people are really saving and getting that money to really work for them. Entertainment, vacation, cars, things that depreciate. Nothing wrong with enjoying life, but if you're not having your money work for you, you're constantly working for your money. So we kind of have to change how we think about things. So one of the things I've been doing in the casino update is kind of just showing how a lot of income comes in, and there's the fundamental fear and misunderstanding that comes with dividend investing and whether or not that dividend yield will outpace the growth. And granted, in the casino updates, I'm showcasing dangers of chasing high yielding dividend traps. But let's just say we're going to run through some safe numbers here. If I can invest $1,000 each month into something that's far less risky than what I'm doing in my casino updates, let's say dividend ticker O for that's going to be in real estate, or you're going to REITs, or JEPI, which is going to be more of a covered call ETF, very much on the safer side, and I'm generating 5% on that. Off that 5% yield, if I was to do $1,000 a month, I can kind of get to 100,000 about 7 years. Now that's great. So now I got to my first 100,000, then how long will it take me to get to $1 million? You're going to want to have these things what's called DRIP, so dividend reinvesting. And that way, as it's going on, as the income's coming in, it's building and building, and it's going to snowball into something that's much bigger. For that, going from 100,000 to $1 million, and we're doing 5% on our yield, that's quite a substantial time. So now we're looking at 26 years. And that's on top of what we did previously just to get to the 100. And there's things that you can do to improve that. For example, if I was to double my investment, so instead of $1,000 a month, now I'm putting $2,000. I'm shaving off 4 or 5 years right there, and that's a healthy chunk of time. Or if I go from Schwab's dividend one, which is going to be SCHD, into Realty, which is that ticker symbol O, or going from that into JEPI, that's going to drastically change these numbers too. Because JEPI, we're looking around 8%. That Realty Group one I was talking about, that's around 5-6%. Schwab D, tried and true, is going to be around 2 to 3. And the thing about Schwab is, at least with that one, it has a strong what's called CGAR. So the dividend growth on it's going to just keep growing and growing. It's going to be really into blue chip, a lot of stability there, tried and true family name. But once you get to that $1 million, depending on what kind of dividend portfolio you have there, let's just kind of stay in these 3 branches. That $1 million could be pretty substantial. So if I had $1 million into Schwab D over there, that one's going to give me about $30,000-$40,000 a year, probably income tax free if I meet the requirements for it. It's going to shoot off qualified dividends, so that's going to be long-term capital gains rate, and assuming if I don't have any other taxable income, I'm not paying taxes on that. Now, depending on what your state is, like for example, California doesn't believe in long-term capital gains rate. It's all ordinary income. But for the federal level, if that's all I'm working with, it's all very kosher. Then if I'm looking at, Realty Group or JEPI in this one, then, it's going to go up from 30 to 40. Now I'm in, more 50 to 60,000, and then going into $80,000 a year. Now, whether or not these are qualified dividends, different story. Like for example, for JEPI, that's not qualified dividends at all. It's all going to be ordinary dividends, all ordinary income. So depending on, what your tax situation looks like, that can be a hefty bill. And as you're building up this portfolio, there is a tax drag on it. So if you're in a deferred retirement account, let's say like a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA, at least these things are growing tax deferred. Then when you start to take money out, it's whether or not it's going to be taxable. Because if it's a traditional IRA, then you're going to pay ordinary income on it. Or if it's in a Roth IRA, then you're not going to pay any, taxes on it. But just to kind of illustrate how we're using, the income inside of it to just drip and rebuy. And that's how it kind of gets that snowball, is that reinvestment. So if I was doing $1,000 and if I wanted up it to $2,000, that's great. That's me putting more of my cash flow in there. But once you have this thing that's issuing out the money every month, here's a check. I didn't have to work for that check. It's just invested, and that investment paid me said check. So that way I'm not having to go work for it. And now that money that went in there bought more shares, which are going to buy more of the assets, which is going to buy more of the income, which is going to snowball right back into the strategy. It's called compounding. So snowball rolling downhill, right? Very slow in the beginning, but it does pick up steam. And that 100,000 is a big milestone. So once we have this asset machine just kind of going at work for us, how you want to have it placed and how you want to utilize it, up to you. So that's why I was kind of talking like the taxable brokerage account, which is easier for more people to go do, into this kind of strategy. Because if you're in a 401k, you're limited by the options inside your plan on what it can invest in. IRAs are going to play by a different set of rules because you're going to have a lot more you can invest in, but the amount of money you can put into it is going to be really dictated on what the IRS says you can each year. So that's something to consider. Now you can roll over, like if I leave my job over here, I can roll over that 401k into the IRA and then put it into that asset machine. But for most people, it's going to be kind of in a brokerage account, so being mindful of the tax drag on that one is something to consider. And if it's all in a Roth IRA, that works great too. Now, enter margin, accelerating the process. I would say margin is one of the most misunderstood tools in investing, because it gets abused and it's easy to kind of fall off the rails on it. Because if I have this $100,000 and half of it's in margin and I use those assets kind of drip back into it, I'm trying to pay down my mortgage, make it, easier for me to get more margin, as well as, buying, more assets. But let's say my principal investment, I started at $100,000 and it drops 20%. So now it's at $80,000, and now my margin, it can generate what's called a margin call. So if you're not utilizing it correctly and you're just, having the margin pay out to you, and you get one of these margin calls, it can really put you in a sticky situation. Kind of going back to, the casino update, you'll see that in each one of these, I'm not taking any of those dividends out to my own. I'm just having it pay down my margin. So the idea is, great, here's $60,000. I've instantly now just doubled it to $120,000. So instead of having, years to kind of build up to that, I kind of took a shortcut. And I'm hoping and betting that, it doesn't fall to a spot where I get margin call, because that'd be bad. So I am putting money in every month to pay down the margin. The dividends that come in every month pay down the margin. Once the margin is down to the spot, then I load up on more. So that way, it's building more and more dividends. So that's how the snowball effect is being utilized in that particular portfolio. Because the more assets you're able to buy, the more income you're able to generate. But, the more I'm on margin increases my overall, exposure. And this is the fundamental, concept behind leverage. And extremely wealthy individuals and investors, they're highly leveraged. Whether or not it's, exactly into margin, I'm not going to comment on that, or it's going to be leveraging, businesses to buy more businesses, or whatever real estate endeavor they're going to do. Most people are using leverage in some way, shape, or form, whether or not it's credit cards, auto loans, mortgages, it's all leverage. So we're just talking about risk. And I think during bull markets, this really works well. Especially, if you're more into like a growth portfolio, because then it's like, hey, I'm betting on growth to happen. But if I'm in a growth portfolio and we go into a recession or a bear market and we have that pullback, nothing's paying down that margin, sorry. So, the same tool that it was accelerating around can also accelerate losses too. So my cautionary tale for you is, use it conservatively. Don't use it aggressively. My casino thing is just meant as a cautionary tale. Don't max out your borrowing limits. Always make sure that you have your own cushion in there. That way, you can't always assume the markets are going to go up. We have to maintain our own personal cash reserve in case they go down. Same thing with the margin, right? Have that buffer. So if, doomsday comes, then, you're kind of protected. Especially, depending on who you're going through on your brokerage. Schwab did a good job of trying to maintain, what they were going to do for margin, especially given, what was going to be the asset class and the investment. And then Robinhood is just, they're real loose with it. And I don't necessarily think it's a good thing, but that's neither here or there, because that's coming down to their own risk tolerance and what they feel as a company they can go do. But I digress. The goal isn't to get rich quick. It's ultimately trying to increase long-term returns without having to bet on whether or not it's going to go up in the growth. I think there's a tool in the toolbox for everything, and growth-minded investing is definitely going to be one of those. So this installment is just talking about how we're going to build using an income portfolio, dividend reinvesting. So I hope you found this, informative. Quick little recap. You earn your income, use your income to buy assets, reinvest the income, allow the compounding to work. And if you feel like you're more savvy, consider maybe margin, only if you understand the risks that you're going to. And then rinse and repeat for years, not weeks, not months, years. Slow and steady wins the race. And if you like the content, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Feel free to reach out for anything and everything, and I'm more than happy to help. Thank you, and have a great day.